Popco Studios in Oklahoma City. You're watching the Press Row. I'm Jenny Carlson here with Barry Trammell. It's time for our We Pick 'em segment. We don't have a lot of games to pick, Barry, but we got a lot to pick from. Let's get right to it. Lots of basketball. Thunder MVP from round one. Who you got?
Well, I'm going to go with Kevin Durant. I know he didn't have a couple of great shooting nights, but the thing we sometimes take for granted is the development of Durant's game. He's become an all-around excellent player. His passing has gotten way better. He's the Thunder's leading rebounder, and he's very consistent on the board. Plus, even when he's having an off shooting night, he still explodes. We saw that in Game 4. James Harden was great in the fourth quarter, but Harden got the ball to Durant twice on the wing in the middle of the fourth quarter, hits 2 threes that get the Thunder back quickly into a tie. Kevin Durant, supernova, superstar. I think he was the MVP.
Well, I think there's a lot of guys you could pick from. I mean, obviously what James Harden did in that closeout game, even though he didn't have a great performance in Game 3, you could maybe say that puts him over the top. You could look at some of the defense that the Thunder played in the interior with Kendrick Perkins and Serge Ibaka on Dirk. But I am going to go with Russell Westbrook. I think he's the MVP of that first round. Consistent throughout, averaged over 22 points a game, Barry, and his defense on Jason Terry, unbelievable. The Jet never got off the ground. Well, he shot. It was 6 for 6 early in the first game. Russell Westbrook wasn't on him then, but defensively, fantastic performance by Russell Westbrook.
Westbrook played great, no doubt about it.
All right, back to the hardwood, Barry. What's the best development in round one for the Thunder?
I thought it was the way they won 3 close games. Game 3, blowout city down in Dallas. But in the other games, 1, 2, and 4, Thunder went down to the wire and made the plays at the end. Came from behind once, held off the Mavs once, and then came from way back in Game 4 with a fourth quarter rally. To me, that's an excellent sign. Winning close games is what it's all about in the playoffs. The Thunder has done that in the past. Didn't necessarily do it in the playoffs so much last year, especially against Dallas. This year, the Thunder did.
Yeah, I thought that was definitely a good development. I'm going to go, though, with taking care of the basketball. The Thunder had some games where they had double-digit turnovers, but overall I felt like they took better care of the basketball. I had one game with 8, which in the playoffs and with a team like Dallas who knows, they know what you're going to do, and they're going to be able to step out there and get some steals and get some turnovers and cause havoc. And at that point, the Thunder took care of the basketball. To me, that was big because we, right before the playoffs, chronicled all those turnovers. It's a ton, over 1,000 in the regular season. I thought the Thunder took care of it pretty well. But, a lot of good things came out of the first round, no doubt about it. All right, one more about the Thunder specifically, Barry. Who replaces Perk if he can't play for a while here in the second round? Is it going to be Cole Aldrich or Nick Collison?
If it's the Lakers, I'm going with Cole Aldrich.
Wow.
Here's the deal. The person closest to Kendrick Perkins is Cole Aldrich. Not great offensively, but gets in there and bangs, sets screens. But his interior defense, I don't think Nazr Mohammed can match up with Andrew Bynum. I think Nick Collison is too small. I think there will be times when they have to put Nazr, have to put Nick on him, but they don't want to do it for very long. I think the safest thing is just throw Cole Aldrich into the fire, let him be the new starter, keep your rotation the same, live with the results.
Yeah, I'm not ready to buy into the Cole Aldrich as a starter. I'm going to go with Nick Collison, a guy that has played against the Lakers before. Obviously, this changes if it's the Nuggets, and we don't know that just yet. But if it's the Lakers, like you would think they're eventually going to take care of the Nuggets, I would throw Nick Collison out there. Tough defender, handles guys who are taller, smaller. Just a tough, hard-nosed defender. I'm just not sure that the first real big playoff experience you want for Cole Aldrich is a second round against the Lakers. Just seems sketchy to me, Barry. Yeah, I think he's height-wise, maybe matchup, but I'm just not sure he's ready for this kind of pressure. We may have to find out, though, because Kendrick Perkins may not be available. All right, talking about the Lakers and Nuggets, Barry, who the heck's going to win this series?
Well, I think the Lakers will, and I think that's not terrible news for the Thunder. I think the Thunder would be better off playing Denver. But I don't think the Thunder's going to be in bad shape playing Lakers. It's a good matchup for Oklahoma City either way. The other side of the bracket is where the teams reside the Thunder didn't want to play. San Antonio, Memphis, the Clippers. Those are the teams that have given the Thunder trouble, not just this year, but in last season as well. Meanwhile, the Thunder really matches up well with the Nuggets and the Lakers. Now, if Kendrick Perkins is out, that changes a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think the Lakers reach the second round, and I think that's not terrible news for the Thunder.
Yeah, I'm going with the Lakers too, although the Nuggets winning in LA Game 5 take the series back to Denver for Game 6 on Thursday night, only a few hours away as we speak. And it's sounding like that Kobe Bryant may not play Game 6, has some sort of stomach virus, will be a game time decision. If he doesn't play, I wouldn't be surprised to see this go 7 games, Barry. And honestly, if that happens, I think for either team, they're going to come in having been through a ringer of a series. The Lakers are older. We've talked about that a lot. They're not as old as maybe they were before, but 7-game series against a team that gets up and down the floor like the Nuggets, I think that could really help. The Thunder's going to have rested for a week at least, maybe longer. I think that bodes well for what the Thunder is looking at in the second round. All right, lastly, let's talk about that other Western Conference playoff series still in play, Grizzlies and Clippers. Who wins this one, Barry?
I think the Clippers win unless Chris Paul or Blake Griffin is injured. And, I don't know their status. Both were banged up on Wednesday night. But if they're both able to play Game 6 and 7, I think the Clippers get it done. I love the Grizzlies going into this series, but Memphis has not played well. They've had stretches in Games 1 and Game 5 where they bolted to big leads, but they weren't able to hold either one. Lost Game 1, almost lost Game 5. Memphis just looks out of sorts. I don't know what the problem is, but I think the Clippers have been the better team in this series. I think the Clippers win it in LA on Friday night.
This has been one of the most fun series to watch. Obviously started Game 1 and has just continued to be really an intriguing series. I wish the game started a little bit earlier. 9:30, getting a little bit late. But I'm going to go with the Grizzlies to win this series. And I tell you why. I saw some flashes in Game 5 of the Zach Randolph that scared the pants off people last year. The Zach Randolph that beat the Spurs in the first round. The guy just started to have that look about him, Barry, that I thought really boded well for the Grizzlies and moving ahead. It really looks like he may have recaptured something. He was hurt earlier this year. If he gets going, and as you mentioned, if those Clippers stars are hurt, could really shift this series. It's a tough road ahead for the Grizzlies because they got to go to LA and win. I think the Grizzlies, although this series, like I said, I'm really been entertained by this. I think it's been a lot of fun to watch. Sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.